Okay, so we are going to talk about how we set up to paint with tempera paints. We're going to work on some of the techniques, and then I'm going to show you how to do today's project, and then I'll show you how we clean up our tempera paints. So to set up for your tempera painting, you are going to need a big piece of old paper to be your cover your table and protect it. You are going to have this box of paints. It's a little bit different. All the paint is in these little containers, and there's spoons. So you're going to open up your containers and you're going to put 1 spoon in each color. We are not going to mix the paints in these containers. Use 1 spoon per color. Do not mix the paints in the containers, please. If you need to mix a color, you're going to spoon the paint out of the container onto this paper plate. The paper plates are for mixing colors. The containers are not. You will also have a plain piece of paper and a pencil. Before you go to paint anything, draw out what you are going to paint on your paper with the pencil. That way, if you make a mistake, you can erase it and we don't have to throw away a canvas. You will have this black paper. It's called tracing paper. And you will have your canvas, which could be cardboard, it could be canvas, it could be watercolor paper. It'll kind of vary by the class. So after you do a drawing, you'll put your tracing paper on your canvas with the dark side down, and then you'll put the paper on top, and when you draw on it, you want to kind of press down hard, and it'll transfer whatever you drew onto the canvas. The other things you're going to have are your water cup with paintbrushes and a paper towel to clean up messes, but also when you switch colors, like let's say we got some blue, we did a little painting, then we want to switch to red, we'll put our brush in the water and then we'll wipe it off on the towel, and then you can switch to your other color. The first thing we'll do is take a white piece of paper and a pencil, and we're going to draw the eye that we're going to put the color wheel and the value scale into. First, you'll draw the iris and the pupil with a large circle and a small circle inside. You can use the containers to trace for the circles if you're having trouble drawing them. Then you'll draw the outside of the eye with a curved line on the top, another curved line on the bottom. And you'll draw the eyelid and close that up and divide it into like 5 or 6 sections to be the different shades of the value scale. Then you will take your cardboard canvas and your tracing paper, place the tracing paper with the darker side down on the canvas and put your drawing on top of that. Then you'll trace over the lines of your drawing with a pen, pressing down so that it'll transfer onto the canvas. This point in the video is where I realized that I forgot to divide up the iris to be the color wheel. So you'll divide up the inside of the eye into 6 sections, 3 for the primary colors and 3 for the secondary colors. After you've traced your eyeball, you'll take the tracing paper and the paper off of the canvas, and you'll see that your drawing has transferred onto the canvas. Then you'll want to put each of the 3 primary colors, red, blue, and yellow, on your plate as well as white. You'll go to where you divided the iris up into a color wheel, and you'll paint 3 spaces, 1 with each of the primary colors, and leave a space in between each of those. So they will end up looking like this. Next, we're going to mix up our secondary colors to fill in the spaces in between the primary colors. So for the space in between blue and red, mix blue and red. It makes purple, and then paint the space in between the blue and the red with the purple. Repeat this with the other primary color combinations, the blue and the yellow and the red. Next, you'll choose your favorite color to make the value scale in the eyelid. So you'll choose your favorite color, you'll fill in the outermost space of the eyelid with that color. Then you're going to add a small amount of white to the color, and you're going to use the new lighter color to paint the next space in on the eyelid. You're going to repeat this process for each of the following spaces on the eyelid, adding more white to make it lighter each time until you get to the space at the inside of the eyelid, which will be your lightest color. When you're done painting your eye, you will clean up by putting the spoons and the paintbrushes in the water cup. Then you'll close up all of the little containers of paint. Put the lids on tightly. Now it's time to clean up. And then close up the painting box. You're going to take your spoons and your paintbrushes and put them in your water cup. Going to close up all of your paint containers. You'll take your painting and you'll put it in the drying rack, and you'll put your paint shirt in the basket beside the drying rack. You'll put your paper towel and your paper plate inside of your desk paper and fold the desk paper up around them to make a little packet to keep the paint from getting on things. So at the end of class, this is what your desk should look like. And when it does, you can have some free time, or if you're a cleaning helper, meet me up at the cart.